What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Moose Lodge coming at you with another video. Today we're gonna talk about my Butler Transport Final Thoughts 6 months review. I'm gonna give you my thoughts and opinions on the company, my experience there, and whether I think that it's a good place for you to be long term. Now, I'm gonna just start off by saying, some pros and cons. I do think that Butler Transport is a good place to get experience. 6 months to a year experience. You can stay there, stay down, get your head up. You'll make a decent amount of money. You'll be able to pay your bills, but that's about it. The money's not great, but when you are just starting off in trucking, you be hard pressed to find a place that pays you the money that you're looking for. I'm pretty sure that we've all heard that before we got into this industry, and it is most certainly true. It's your standard over the road, refrigerated company. Everything is standard. They got a couple drop-in hooks every here and there. They run to all 48 states. Stay out 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. You make 45 cents a mile, which I hear is, pretty average. I think it's pretty average. There are companies that pay less than that, but me personally, if I had to go back, I would not accept anything less than 45 cents a mile. With what I know now. And I would recommend that for anybody who's getting into trucking, do not accept less than 45 cents a mile. If you talk to a company and they're talking about paying you 40, 35, 37, 30, 32, don't go. Just go to Butler Transport instead. You'll get 45 cents a mile, make decent money while you get your experience. Like I said in my previous videos, they take care of the trucks. They're a small family-owned company. So you'll be able to speak to somebody who's in charge. You'll be able to speak to a decision maker. You won't get the runaround, stuff like that. But in my opinion, I think that it's a company that you should stick around for a year at the latest. I don't think you should be there longer than a year. Once you get 6 months experience, you should definitely start looking at companies that are, take around that amount of experience, because any company that requires you to have any experience at all is going to pay you significantly more than you're going to make at Butler Transport. They don't have any detention, they don't have any layover, and in my opinion, if you're running refrigerated freight, that's unacceptable. There's no way that you should be sitting in a dock for 4, 5, 6 hours unpaid. That's just crazy to me. You'll never talk me into it being fair. You'll never talk me into it being acceptable. I won't even hear the argument. I won't hear the argument for no layover either. I'm very big on, if the freight market is bad, or if I'm in a bad area where there's no loads, there is no reason why me as a W-2 employee should be penalized for that. I mean, after all, I'm W-2, I'm not 1099, I'm not a business owner, so I should not suffer for market conditions. I'm an employee who is being paid by a company to do a job. The job includes babysitting the equipment and or a load or a trailer. Therefore, I need to be compensated for that. Now that we got that out the way, I'm gonna say this. No matter where you go, there's always a better company. You're always gonna hear some dude online talking about how they make this much, that much, they're home this much, that much, their trucks go this fast, their trucks come with this, they got these perks. What I recommend is, if you hear about a company through word of mouth, or you see an advertisement or whatever, you need to call and speak to recruiting and get the information directly from the horse's mouth. Don't just take anybody's word on anything. If you can, talk to employees that work there So that way you can get all of the information that you need to make a sound decision. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna ask me if I still work there. The answer is no. As soon as I hit 6 months, I got up out of there. Reason being is it just wasn't the right fit for me personally. I know people who are there that are still happy. Great for them. But for me, it just didn't make much sense because I live in Georgia. So to work at a company that operates out of Kansas City, their only terminal is in Kansas City, it just doesn't make much sense to me. I will be better off going to a company that operates in or has a terminal in where I live. And I do think that that is a practice that everybody should live by. Every single truck driver, CDL holder, tractor trailer operator, whatever, if you're gonna work for a trucking company, you need to look for a company in your home state. Doesn't matter how popular this company is, and they're in Missouri, Wisconsin, where all the, top 5 is located. You need to be hitting the white pages, hitting Google, hitting these CDL looking for work groups, and look for a trucking company in your home state. The reason for that is because a lot of people like to talk about home time. Well, the way home time works is they're going to have their trucks more likely to be where they have a terminal. They're more likely to send you where they do business at. And if a company has a terminal at a location, they most likely do business in that location. So if you have a company that has a terminal in your state, then they have a lot of business in that state. They have a lot of freight in that state, and it's easy for them to get you back to that state which you live in. So by extension, it's easier for you to get home. Now, I was gonna make a separate video on this, but I feel like I'm on a roll, so I'm just gonna go ahead and spit it out. The company that I did leave Butler Transport to go to is Martin Transport. Fantastic company. I will be dropping a review on them after this, but I just want to drop a little update to let everybody know what's going on. I do want to start taking YouTube more serious and documenting the journey more thoroughly. Now, back to Butler Transport and my final thoughts on the company. Just want to touch on another few things. For me, I think that the company, and this might just be a industry standard. As far as I know, it is an industry standard to not give detention or layover. And I think, again, I'm gonna say it one more time, if you're on refrigerator freight, it's a must-have. I mean, it's a luxury, sure, whatever, call me spoiled, call me whatever you want. I call it knowing my worth and, just making intelligent decisions for me and my family. I need detention and layover. I'm being away from my family. I need to be compensated for that. I'm working hard, living on the road. I need to be compensated fairly. So Butler Transport will tell you that they don't pay layover. The problem with that is they do pay layover, but it's a caveat. It's only $75 a day, which, I mean, okay, but in order for you to actually get that layover, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to pick up the phone, cuss, scream, yell, and make a fuss about it. And me personally, I'm not comfortable talking to another grown man that way because I would never want to be talked to that way. So I feel like if you're gonna tell me that layover is available and I qualify for it because there's no freight or because I'm broken down or whatever, and I ask for it and I legitimately qualify for it, then you should give it to me. I don't really understand the whole, I emailed the person who's responsible for the layover, but they didn't get back to me. How you think I'm gonna react when you tell me that? I'm gonna tell you to well, hit them up again. I'm going to tell you to send another email. But it seems like everybody's in cahoots to make sure you either forget about it or just don't get it. I mean, 7 times out of 10, you're just going to forget about it, or, they make it so difficult for you to get that you're just going to say screw it, because it's only $75 in the first place. And then, it feels like the juice is not worth the squeeze. I just felt like with 6 months experience and the lack of accommodations, you couldn't tell me that there wasn't a company that I could go to that was better than, Butler Transport. I mean, you couldn't, like, with 6 months experience, there's no way there's not a company who pays attention wouldn't take me. There's a company that pays layover that wouldn't take me. I'm sure there is one company that gives those things that will take somebody with 6 months experience, and that's what I found with Butler Transport, and that's why I left. So yeah, just a recap on my final thoughts on Butler Transport. Good place to get experience, fantastic place to get experience, beginner friendly. They give you a chance to make mistakes, they give you a chance to figure things out. They don't rush you, but my recommendation would be to spend 1 year maximum there, because I know personally at 6 months your potential employers are expanded greatly. Like the quality of employers that you qualify to work for open up drastically at 6 months. So I would recommend that you explore those options to avoid wasting time. But I will also say this: if you were to leave before the year or at the year mark, I will strongly recommend that you do your due diligence, because in this industry you don't want to be a job hopper. With me, I knew I was going to leave, I just didn't know where. And the reason why it took so long is because I wanted to make sure that wherever I was going to go is where I know that I could spend another year and a half, 2 years, maybe even 3 years. I wanted to make sure that if I leave the place I'm going to, I'm gonna be able to stay there for a long period of time. So just make sure you keep those things in your head when you're looking for another job. If you're at Butler Transport and you're looking for another job, or any company, this applies to any company. If you're at any company and you're looking for another job, make sure that wherever you're going to go is a place where you can spend the next year or two, so that way you avoid having multiple jobs. If you're someone who has switched jobs before, you know how much of a pain it is to get all your personal items out of the truck, taken from state to state, moving into another truck, going through orientation. The process is excruciating. So make sure that you know what you're doing, and make sure that it's the decision that is right for you. Don't forget to look for a company in your home state if you can, because it will drastically improve your chances of getting home time. Make sure if you're gonna stay refrigerated, look for detention, look for layover. And those are my final thoughts and tips for people who are less than a year experience or just starting out in the company. Next video, I'm going to talk about Butler Transport. I've been here for about a month, and I have nothing but great things to say about this company, man. I mean, it's hard for me to understand why this company is so underrated. Maybe it's just my experience. Everything just works out perfectly for me. But what I've realized is most of the people who trash talk Martin either got fired or don't qualify, or maybe they had a bad experience with a Martin truck on the road, because everybody I know who works here is extremely happy and extremely satisfied with the company. More on that in the next video. But yeah, it's your boy Moose Lodge. Thanks for tapping in with the channel. I'll drop another video for y'all soon. I'm out.